I wanna be a yeah, Ali, Diamond, I want to be a billionaire. Or $10, or you know, get your head. It's happening. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Yes, Adenuga does not have two heads. Welcome to the IMMERI Live. Welcome, fellow billionaires. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the IMMERI opportunity. And we are live. My name is Solomon James, and I'm reaching you all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, where we will be discussing what IMMERI is all about and how IMMERI can help scale your status to the next level. Welcome everyone joining us all across the country. This is purely a Nigerian event and we are good to go. So tonight we'll be talking about the IMMERI business opportunity presentation. What does IMMERI means? What does IMMERI have to offer to us? Some of us have been hearing the buzz. You want to get clarity about IMMERI. This is that meeting for you. First off, you must understand that the fact staring us today is the fact that 96% of the people lying awake at night are worrying about two things. People are disturbed about their health and people are disturbed about their finances. Now, this is according to the Lower Harris poll. 96% of the people in the world today that are awake, that cannot sleep, they have two items majorly on their mind, either health issues or financial issues. Now, getting a platform to address this has been the desire of humanity. And today, we have one of such platforms, one of such vehicles that will be helping us address both the health and the finances of the people. And that vehicle is called IMMERI. Now, IMMERI is an international organization that began about 3 years in 2016. And IMMERI originated from the German word immer. And immer in German simply means eternity. and they added the I at the end to stand for international. So therefore, what we are looking at is maybe you can refer to it as Eternity International. Now, why is this significant? Having a product that is valid is not the issue. Having a platform that creates wealth is not the issue. Some of us have been on such platform in the past. The question is, are they still around? Why give us such money and in the next 3 months you are gone? IMMERI says, let's redefine the field. So IMMERI is an international company that is actually built to last. And we have these 3 exceptional leaders and directors of the company. We have Mr. Tankamfo, who is actually the group senior executive vice president and is the president for Southeast Asia region. We have the group chief executive officer and is the president of the Greater China region. That's Mr. Lau Chuangguan. We also have the group executive vice president, and he happens to be the president for Africa and the Middle East region. We are talking about Mr. Yap Wayen. Together, they have over 100 years experience in this industry, and they are putting all of this together to make sure that the industry is redefined. And IMMERI is actually raising the standard to make sure that happens. Now, talking about IMMERI, IMMERI has branches and has spread in the last, since 2016, 3 years plus, into some major countries around the world. We're in China, the major cities in China, we're in Taiwan, we're in Hong Kong, we're in the Philippines, we're in Brunei, we're in Malaysia. IMMERI actually entered the African continent starting from Ghana. October 15, 2018, IMMERI had a soft launch in Ghana and officially opened January 4 last year. Now, the Nigerian market had its pre-launch, which was April 15th last year, 2019. And this is today's March 1st. In the next 28 days, by March 28th, IMMERI will officially be launching and opening up in Nigeria. Now, after the Nigerian market, IMMERI had moved into Egypt, where we officially pre-launched in Egypt. That was November 29 last year. Now, as for 2020, we have many markets opening. One of it is South Africa. One of it is Sudan. In fact, currently, yesterday, today, there has been the first mega business opportunity presentation in Sudan. It started yesterday, and the second one is being held today in Sudan. We also have Saudi Arabia market also opening this year. So IMMERI is steadily taking territories and increasing its fare. Now, because this is purely a Nigerian event, like I said, we are not talking about the dollars, we are talking about the naira today. Now, IMMERI is in Nigeria, and this is the IMMERI corporate office in Nigeria. IMMERI Nature Global Limited is at #1 Chief Okube Road by Mende, Maryland, just by the ShopRite, the Maryland Mall in Lagos. So the entire building there is IMMERI. So this is not something that is in a 2-bedroom or in probably a boys' quarter, and they're operating and they're telling you they're in over 100 countries. Wherever IMMERI goes, IMMERI has massive presence. And for Nigeria, this is where we are. Now, what's the mission of IMMERI? IMMERI's mission is simple: to bring happiness first to ourselves, to our people, and to our family. And we are touching our lives and that of our family in the areas of health, financial freedom, continuous growth, and giving back to society. Our core value is simple. We believe that sharing is rewarding, that it's more blessed to give than to take. IMMERI believes that success breeds success, and you're going to see this as we proceed in this webinar tonight. And IMMERI also believes in filial piety, which is having respect, love, and care for one another. Now, who are we? IMMERI is the exclusive maker of our state-of-the-art manufacturing facility that is dedicated solely for the production of our flagship product, one of our flagship products, which is Virgin. And IMMERI has invested over $2 million just in the production of just one brand. Now, it's not a third party producing for us, it's IMMERI producing for itself. Now, IMMERI also runs what they call the Growth University. The Growth University helps in the training and education of its partners. So we have different things coming up. We have the BOP, which is the Business Orientation Program, the Members Orientation Program, the Business Startup Event, the Board Breaking Forum, and different things. For some of us, we know that sometime in a couple of months, we'll be having what they call the Velocity Camp. Now, all of those is part of the growth process of IMMERI. Now, IMMERI also runs what they call the Faith Foundation. IMMERI Faith Foundation is a way of giving back to the society by setting aside 0.25% of our sales revenue for the foundation. About 4 weeks ago, I was privileged to be in Ghana, where I joined the leadership team in Ghana, and we went to one of the orphanages or homes and things like that, Echo Hills, actually Echo Hills in Ghana, and we gave back to them. So IMMERI is actually fulfilling what it says it's doing. Now, talking about our achievements since October 2016, IMMERI currently has over 600,000 partners. Now, this data is about 6 months behind, so it should have been more. But currently, let's just leave it that way, about 600,000 partners, and we have 38% retention, members staying with us. Now, in the industry, it's more between 5 to 10%, but in IMMERI, it's 38%, and you will understand why. Now, within the past 3 years, IMMERI had done over $280 million in sales. Again, these numbers are higher, but I mean, we're keeping it conservative. Now, within that same period, IMMERI has taken over 6,800 people on different cruises. I mean, we have the Norwegian cruise, the Malaysian trip, the Bali, the Dubai. That for Egypt is not even added. It keeps increasing. Now, also within the past 3 years, IMMERI had given out 656 cars and awarded to members who have also worked hard, and IMMERI says, you know what, we reward you with cars. You got to understand how these things play out. Now, beyond that, IMMERI says, we wanted members to own houses, and just within 3 years, we can categorically say that 2 members and 2 partners of this platform are house recipients. Now, what's our product commitment? Because without a product of value, then basically what we might do might be a scam. Now, we have a product commitment to what we offer, and in Fort IMMERI says our product was a product of conscience. We produce only product that we ourselves we use. Now, this product also, they must be made of high quality, and as much as possible, we use only raw materials, products that are green, not chemicals, not a genetically modified product. So all IMMERI's products are 100% safe, and you are going to experience them. Now, IMMERI has 5 product brand series. We have what we call the IMMERI. The IMMERI takes care of our intimate care products. We have the IMMERI Plus that handles our health and functional food. IMMERI runs what we call the IMMERI Bell, which takes care of our skin and personal care. We have the IMMERI Home that covers the kitchenware and home. We also have the IMMERI Life that covers our lifestyle food and beverages. Now, of these 5 brands, only 2, the first 2, IMMERI Care and IMMERI Plus, is already in Nigeria. And the products that are already in Nigeria are 3. We have the Vitite that is covered under the IMMERI Care. Then we have the Advil and the Vitite that is covered under the IMMERI Plus. Now, in deepening this product within the continent, like we said, IMMERI began first in Ghana, and you know, the Ghana region covers the west of Africa and part of Central Africa, covering Nigeria. Then we went up north to cover Egypt. Like I said, the Egypt market was open November 29. So Egypt is actually helping to cover the Arab world, which is why, like yesterday, today, we're in Sudan, okay? Having our first and a second meeting today in Sudan. So Egypt is covering the Arab world, north of Africa and part of East Africa. And later this year, we'll officially be also opening up South Africa. We already have partners in South Africa. So the South African market will help to cover South of Africa, part of Central and East of Africa. Now, I'm talking about Africa. Africa is the second largest continent in the world and the second most populous continent in the world, with a population of 1.32 billion people. I mean, that's massive. Now, of this number, we understand that 202 million, over 202 million are in Nigeria. I mean, that's why they call us the giant of Africa. And of the 202 million in Nigeria, over 99 million are female. That's represented about 49.4%. Now, of these women in Nigeria, 14.2%, which is about over 14 million of these women in Nigeria, they are infected with what we call bacterial vaginosis. Bacterial vaginosis is actually caused by the imbalance between good and bad bacteria in the vagina, so which causes foul smelling, discharges, vaginal itching, gray, white, or greenish discharges. Now, Many people knows might relate with these symptoms as we begin to reel them out, but probably they never knew the name. That was bacterial vaginosis. So what I will do is to throw more light on this. Now, let's go to the female reproductive system. Sorry if it's a little bit graphic. I hope this is not dampening your Holy Sunday. Because some people probably might have taken communion today. But hey, this is biology. Pay attention. Don't close your eye. Look at the screen. This is the female reproductive system. And this section is very, very important because it houses what we call the ovary. Now, the ovary is very important because the ovary is actually what releases the eggs. And once the eggs are not released, then obviously that will be a threat to humanity. So the ovary releases the eggs. Now, no matter how potent the sperm is, if the eggs are not released, again, humanity will not continue. Now, with the release of the ovary and life is being formed, that life is kept in the uterus. Now, the uterus is where the place that houses the life. Now, as important as this place is, and God has taken time to preserve it and take it in the inner part of the woman, there is a doorway to this place, and that doorway is the vagina. Now, the vagina itself is not just for you to wee-wee or probably to have sex. It has a protective intent to protect the ovary and the uterus. Now, mind you that the vagina itself is very close to the anus. So even if you are not if you don't clean yourself up as a lady using the restroom, or when you are using the restroom and the water splashes back into the vagina, there is the possibility that pathogens might latch at it, and they might begin to find their way into the vagina. Now, take a look. You see those pathogens coming in there. If they are not eliminated and they move, they are going to cause some trouble. Now, this is a cross-section of the female vagina. It contains the vaginal epithelial cells, contains the superficial squamous flat cell, and the vaginal mucus. But it also contains what we call the lactobacillus, which is actually beneficial bacteria. Now, people will, once you hear bacteria, you think bacteria is something bad. No, there are good bacteria. So we have the beneficial bacteria in the female vagina, which is called the lactobacillus. It also contains what we call organic acid. The organic acid is actually what helps to balance the pH of the female vagina. A healthy pH value for a woman's vagina is supposed to be 3.5 to 4.4. If it is higher than 4.4, then you are actually opening up yourself to more alkaline environment. And you know, alkaline environment breeds more pathogens and breeds more bacteria, breeds more infection. Now, if it's below 3.5, then your cramp and those pains might likely increase. So the organic acid in the vagina helps to regulate the pH level between 3.5 to 4.4. Yes, you that you are listening to me, when last did you check your pH level, the pH for your vagina? Are you even aware of that? So you find out that it's not just about buying or selling, it's also about education. Now, it contains the antibacterial peptide, and which is also, this thing helps to also to fight and protect and preserve the vagina. It contains bacteriocins, okay? Now, when this is a space of a healthy vagina, when you see pathogens, which is bad bacteria or viruses, when they come into a healthy environment, watch your screen. What you see is that these elements go into action and they just take out that pathogen. Now, when that happens, now you are safe. But in a case where that pathogen is not taken, look at your screen. You see that the pathogens are beginning to move into the vagina. What are you seeing? It moves beyond just the vagina. It's going towards the ovary, it's going towards the uterus. So a lot of ladies right now, they're having they're suffering from what we call deep infections. Some of them are having pelvic and inflammatory diseases. Some of them are having infertility issues. And I can tell you that there is a very high rate of infertility in the land. And trust me, most of these things are not all demonic. Some of them are infections that are compounded over time, and they're also inhibiting the lady's freeness to conceive. Okay, some of these things are not demonic, they're simply infections. Now, it goes beyond that. Some ladies are also suffering from what we call cervical erosion and the wearness away of the vaginal wall. And as a result, a lot of ladies are also suffering from dryness. A lot of ladies are having sexual pain when they meet intimately with their spouse and their partner. So many ladies don't want to even talk about sex because of these conditions. Now, as it begins to deepen, for some ladies, it might not even be dryness, but they begin to secrete odors. You see those foul smell, those fishy smell. So you get to meet your partner, instead of it ending in pleasure, it's actually ending with smell that can even cause another quarrel, another fight, another tense environment. So what you are looking at here is becoming complex. For some, they begin to suffer from what we call sexually transmitted infection. Some of them, it affects even the baby, because we now have allergy and neonatal infection affecting the baby in the womb. As much you are beginning to see abortion. When we talk about abortion here, we are talking about miscarriages, because once it penetrates even up to the uterus, tendencies that the baby might even be dropping, and it can even as much as cause women's cancer. Now, you thought we were talking about just smell. You thought we were talking about itching. We thought we were just talking about one small toilet infection. But I've just seen the compound effect that if this is not dealt with, can lead even up to cancer. A lot of ladies are suffering from this, and they are quiet about it. Why? It's a private issue. Nobody wants to talk about it. So everybody is looking good, looking dandy, beautiful faces with their makeup. But down there are issues, and nobody wants to address that. So we have a flagship product called Virgin that is positioned to address this issue. Virgin actually is a female intimate gel that helps to take care of these conditions naturally. Now, Virgin contains natural ingredients. It contains antibacterial and immune peptide. It contains organic acids that actually help, like I said, to reset the pH of the vagina. Because, for example, now for some of us, we have cockroaches in our houses or mosquitoes. Just change the environment. Change the environment. Use your fumigate the place. You find out that it becomes unconducive. So once the organic acids are activated and is regulated between 3.5 to 4.4, it's a no-go area for those pathogens to survive. It contains seaweed extract. It contains hyaluronic acid. So for ladies that are suffering from dryness, and things like that, it softens the vagina. It helps the elasticity of the vagina. So when there is a penetration, instead of you feeling that pain, it can expand. Now, all these things are done naturally. It contains polysaccharide. It's actually the polysaccharides that feed the lactobacillus. That's the good bacteria. It contains vitamin C, vitamin A, I beg your pardon, that also helps to balance the hormones of the ladies. Some ladies are having hot flushes, hormonal imbalances, and things like that. It contains vitamin E. It contains 100% natural essential oil. Everything I've just mentioned here are the ingredients you will find in our virgin, and they are all 100% natural. They are cultivated naturally, so there are no side effects with this ingredients. Now, so we talk again about the antibacterial, the organic acid, the seaweed extract, the hyaluronic acid, the polysaccharide, the vitamin E, and the 100% essential oil. Now, let's go back to an infected vagina. You already see that the pathogens are already having their own bedroom. Some of them have already, what we will say, I mean, this is a Nigerian presentation, so you should understand me. They've colored the space. Some of them have actually built a 3-bedroom flat, a bungalow, and they're having fun. All you need to do is to introduce the gel. Virgin, it's an intimate gel. Once this gel is introduced, first thing it does is that it enhances the beneficial bacteria, which is the lactobacillus. It begins to feed. It's like somebody that was fainting. Now you are being fed properly. You now have the energy to begin to fight the bad bacteria. It begins to restore the antipathogen, talking about the peptide and the bacteriocins. Now, once those things begin to come back, what are you seeing? They go into action. They begin to fight out those pathogens. And what are you looking at? Boom, those things are taken care of. Mind you, everything is happening in record time and working 100% natural. It restores the acidic environment, that's the pH, returning back to between 3.5 to 4.4, the pH level. It also helps to repair the tissue. So a lot of ladies that are having wear and tear, and it could be as a result of probably high sex activity. Some could be different. There are different things to that, but it begins to repair the tissue. It also begins to create what we call the immune recovery with the replacement and restoration of what we call the TLK receptor. So what are the benefits of Virgin quickly? Virgin helps to enhance friendly bacteria while inhibiting the bad bacteria. So it enhances self-cleaning and defense mechanism of the female vagina and reduces infection. Vagin helps to moisturize and also to tighten the vagina. So for a dry vagina, it moisturizes the vagina. You don't need KY jelly and other lotion and other things you insert in there. Naturally, the vagina begins to get moisturized. Number two, it begins to tighten the vagina. There are a lot of ladies that are suffering from what we call vaginal atrophy, which is the looseness of the vagina. And there are many reasons for that. It could also be as a result of high sex activity or even childbirth. There are ladies that they have this elastic skin or system that once they deliver, sometimes based on the weight of the child, the vagina does not return back. And I'm telling you, a loose vagina affects sexual intimacy. And a lot of families are going through this issue. So with vagin being introduced, it repairs the cell and it also nourishes the ovaries. So as a result, most of the ladies who probably are believing God and they're expectant mother, they want to have a child of their own, their chances are enhanced because the cells are repaired, the ovaries are also being nourished. We've had tremendous testimonies practically every week of ladies beginning to take in because they begin to use vagin. Now, vagin is not written there, come unto me, all ye that want to get pregnant, I'll make that happen. But because it is taking care of the ovaries, that begins to enhance your chances. It restores the elasticity of the vagina. Now, vagin also helps to improve the sex life of the people involved. Now, remember, ladies are the ones using it, but you get to hear us say that vagin is made for women, but it is loved by men because it helps to secrete the pheromone in the ladies, increases their libido, and they are beginning to have fun with their partners using vagin. What are the feedbacks that we've had with partners that have used vagin? Well, over 90% agree that vagin has this excellent malodor eliminating effect. It does not reduce the smell, it eliminates it. Vagin is not a perfume, also you just spray it to bring down the smell. It eliminates the smell. It has this, it reduces infection. I mean, it's over 90% saying that using vagin reduces their infection and it has this excellent anti-itching effect. It relieves redness and pain. Vagin also, over 95% say that it's highly moisturizing. It moisturizes the vagina. And over 95% agree that vagin tightens the vagina, restoring most of our ladies back to their teenage age as if they are virgins, okay? And that's awesome. And it also helps to improve the quality of sexual intercourse. Now, that's vagin for you, and you can see all the benefits of vagin. Who do you know need this? And again, a lot of ladies are having these issues. They are smiling, but they are dying on the inside. Nobody's talking about this. This is a natural way to eliminate these conditions and put smiles on their faces and get their confidence back. Now, let's get back to our other two products. We have the best natural anti-aging product in the world, and this is covered under our IMMERI Plus. IMMERI Plus has two products here. We're talking about the Adwell, and we're talking about the Vitide. Let's talk about the Vitide. Vitide is a soy micromolecule bioactive peptide. And peptide is basically short-chain amino acid, a compound made up of two or more amino acid linked through what we call peptide bonds, which are smaller than protein. But in essence, the peptide help to govern and regulate the bioactivities of bodily cells. They play a vital role in initiating physiological development and functions of the human body. Now, mind you that your body is made up of cells. So basically what we have here is actually food for the cell. And this food for the cell contains 17 amino acids, including 9 essential amino acids, and the purity is very high, high absorption, and it dissolves almost instantly. Now, this does not break down. Once you take it, it goes straight into the system. What are the benefits of Vitide? Now, it helps to vitalize, helps to restore, helps to promote, and also helps to inhibit. But one of the benefits we see here is that because Vitide is helping our cell, remember back then in school in biology, they taught us that the cell is the smallest unit of the body. From the cell, you have the tissue. From the tissue, you have the organ. From the organ, you have the system. From the system, you have the man. If you want to take care of the man, take care of the cell. If anything goes wrong with your cell, something will be wrong with the man. And every second, millions of cells are dying. Question, how are you protecting your cells? If the foundation be destroyed, they tell you what can the righteous do. If your cells come crumbling down, I tell you, you have a need to panic. Now, right now, we are talking about coronavirus. One of the things you've got to increase is your immunity, and it starts from the cell. So you protect the cell. So Vitide helps to protect the cell because actually it is feeding the cell. Number two, it slows down aging, because if cells are dying and you don't have enough cell replacing the dying cell, that means it's helping to accelerate aging. So with the cells coming alive, since they are being fed with peptide, which is Vitide, it enhances the healthy cell, reducing the dead cells. And what are you saying? It now helps to slow down the aging process. It helps to prevent cancer. Most of our cancer issues, they are cellular. Cancer of the breast, what do you think it is? Most of them, they are tied to our cells, which is why one of the ways they get to take care of this condition is by what they call chemotherapy. What do you think chemotherapy is? They are frying the cells. They get to fry both the good and bad cell. But IMMERI says, no, through Vitide, you might not need to fry both the good and the bad cell. Just like the good book will say. He said, yes, keep the wheat and the tear till the day of judgment. So what IMMERI does with its product is helping to enhance that cell. So if there are cells that are supposed to exist in the body, it helps the cells to commit what we call cell suicide. The cell moves out of the body, because if the cell does not move out of the body, you'll be having cell mutation. Cell mutation can begin to build and form cancer. So it helps to prevent cancer. It regulates your blood pressure. It also helps to restore your skin and muscle elasticity. There is no way your cell will come alive, your pressure will not improve, and your skin and muscle elasticity will also not increase. It helps to strengthen the muscle and also helps to eliminate fatigue. Sometimes we feel fatigue from the inside. Yes, I know you have eaten your fufu, your eba, your akpu, and the things you take, but those food are yet to break down. The cell will be waiting for hours. You're already getting fatigued. The cell is like on a fast. But imagine that you take something and you put it in water, and within seconds the cell is already feeding. It helps to eliminate fatigue, and you come alive with strength. It increases the immunity, which is why right now, with the fear of coronavirus, you need Vitide to increase your immunity. It also helps in weight loss, because as you are beginning to feel healthy, you don't eat much most of those junks and those things, and also helps in you losing weight. Now that's for Vitide. We have our last product, which is Advel. It's called pronounced Advel, but for simplicity, and we are Nigerians, we know fish out, we call it Adwell. Adwell is actually a plant-based enzyme. And what are enzymes? Enzymes actually, they help to speed up or catalyze chemical reactions in the human body. And again, you know, like I said, we are Africans, we eat a whole lot of carbs and complex things. So enzyme helps in the breakdown of larger complex molecules into smaller molecules, such as glucose, so that the body can use them as fuel. Now, I mean, we're in Enugu last weekend, and somebody was saying, you know what, my best food is akpu. Are you trying to tell me I shouldn't eat akpu? Well, eating akpu is not the issue. The issue is how long does it take to break down? Now, imagine that effect. So for some of us, when these things don't break down, they begin to get stored in your body as fat. Some of them begin to cause other illnesses and issues. And understand also that a lot of the health issues start from your gut. They start from your inside. So breaking these things down within record time is also helping to enhance your health. Well, Adwell has two patented product technology that is helping it to work, the BioEns and the SMART. And they helped us to have a maximum result using the product. Adwell contains basically 5 types of enzyme. It contains lipase. Lipase is good, helps in breaking down fat and oil. Now, if you go back to your integrated science of biology, they tell you classes of food. It contains fat and oil. So the body needs fat, but good fat. The body needs oil, good oil. The body needs cholesterol, but good cholesterol. Today, we are almost frying everything. You are frying your yam, your egg, everything is almost being fried. There is an increase of cholesterol right now in Nigeria and in Africa. Lipase helps to break that down. It contains proteins. Proteins help us to break down protein. Just closing of the border, people are shouting, where will the chicken come in? Bros, go back to look for snail, look for other type of things we have here. But it helps to break down the protein. Amylase is very, very essential because of our addiction to carbohydrate. I mean, that's our staple food in Nigeria. Your rice, your yam, your fufu, and all those things. It helps to break down carbohydrate in seconds. It contains antioxidant enzyme. It contains fibrinolytic enzyme that helps your blood not to clot. Most ladies, once they see their menses or they have their flow, you begin to see blood clot, okay? Because these things are happening because the blood is also not free. So Adwell contains these 5 enzymes and is working in your body. What's the benefit of Adwell? It helps to improve intestinal health, because if your intestinal health is not improved, you see people having bloated stomach, you see people with indigestion and many other issues like that, that a lot of us were going through. People eat the next day, they see throw up, find out everything they ate in the previous night still comes out, the food was yet to break down. Adwell helps to improve your intestinal health. So that bloatedness, that indigestion, I mean, you need Adwell. Anti-inflammation, so if you have those inflammations in your body, Adwell helps to take them down. It helps to prevent blood clot, because again, remember, as it's dropping out the cholesterol out of your system, for some of us, I mean, again, in the last few days, I don't know where you live in Nigeria, but how many of us know the weather is extremely hot, it's becoming very hot. Last week, Sunday, as I was landing from Owerri, the pilot told us as we were coming into Lagos, he said, hey, Lagos temperature is 35 degrees. I said, are we closer to hell or to heaven? 35 degrees, that's quite hot. So you find out, yeah, you get to eat and you're looking for cold drink, you're looking for cold beer, you're looking for cold whatever to probably help quench your thirst. But sometimes in taking these cold drinks, you're actually coagulating the oil in your system. You're not allowing the oil to flow out. So it can also help prevent clot your blood. So with Adwell, it helps to prevent blood clot. It prevents cancer. It also increases the metabolism, because now everything is breaking down in your body, everything is absorbed and everything is flowing very well. Now, basically, you know that you cannot take carbohydrate and it's been broken down within minutes. The oil is dropping, the carbohydrate is dropping, your metabolism is functional, you will lose weight if you need to. Now remember, it's increasing your metabolism, because somebody is saying, but I'm on the leper side, I'm not fat. It's not going to make you lose more weight, because your metabolism will begin to function the way it should according to your body weight and mass. And this Adwell does very effectively. All our products are NAFDAC approved. So you see, for Virgin, for Adwell, for Vitide, we have our NAFDAC cover there. Now, how do I get a hold of this product? How do I become a part of it? There's what we call our membership plan. There are 3 doorways into IMMERI. The first one is what we call the classic program. The second one is what we call the agency program. And the last one is what we call the wholesale program. Now, this is how the cost in Naira. As I said, it's purely a Nigerian presentation. Now, if you are joining us with the classic package, it is 59,200. 59,200, and you are going to have product, and you're also going to have a business account in case you choose to want to build this as a business. Now, if you join with what we call agency, which is what I will recommend if you can, it's 295,930. It's going to, you get product, but beyond that, anytime you come back to pick more product, you enjoy 30% discount for the rest of your life. It has nothing to do with ranking, it has nothing to do with rising, it has nothing to do with you bringing people. Even picking your product after your registration, you begin to enjoy 30% discount for the rest of your life, and you have a business account to build. Now, it also gives you access to what we call wholesale, or the tiers, starting from tier 1 to tier 4. And in this case, if you were to make a repeat purchase or a repeat order, you begin to enjoy 50% discount for the rest of your life on those products. And you are getting product, for example, you are paying 739,825 for tier 1. You are not going to pick product worth 739. You are going to pick product worth about 947, because there is a 20% additional product given to you. If you were doing a tier 4, and tier 4 is about 2.9 million, and you paid that, you are not going to pick product worth 2.9 million. Actually, you are picking product worth about 5.9 million. So imagine almost doubling your product. I mean, and it has nothing to do with you ranking, and yet you still enjoy 50% discount for life. That's IMMERI. So you come in with what you feel applies to you, where you can start, or where you feel you have the best advantage. But if you ask for my view, my opinion, I'll tell you, if you can, go for agency. Now, let's look at the IMMERI opportunity. What's the business side? We've talked about the product. Now, what's the business side? How can we maximize this? IMMERI says, yes, you can maximize this. We actually offer what we call 30 to 50% discount in our retail business. So it means there are three types of people that join IMMERI. Some people join basically just to use the product. Some people join to retail the product. If you have to retail the product, what are the options? Let's take example that you choose to join us with the agency pack, which is 295,930, and you say you want Virgin. Now, IMMERI does not give you product. IMMERI does not collabo product for you. IMMERI allows you to pick exactly what you want. Some persons come in and they say, you know what, I know a lot of ladies that are suffering from this vaginal infections, thrush, different things like that, cyst issues, and I just want Virgin. Or somebody listening to me right now, you're in a university environment, you know what the young ladies, they are going to the toilet, the sanitary conditions. So people need Virgin. Now, you choose to sign up with the 295,930, which is the agency pack. Now, you are going to get 20 boxes of Virgin. Now, the cost of a pack of Virgin is 14,000. The members' price is 14,796,050 naira. So about for 14,700, you pick up a box of Virgin at the members' price. The retail price is about 20,000 naira. So if you sell your 20 boxes at 20,000, you are actually making a sale of about 400,000 or 402,000 naira. Now, if you subtract your capital from your total sales of about 402,000, you're actually making a profit of about 106,000 naira. Now, imagine just selling 20 boxes of Virgin and you have made for yourself 106,000 naira. Now, IMMERI says that's not all. Remember, we said that if you come for a repurchase, you will be enjoying 30% discount for life. What does that mean? If you were to come back to buy whether one box or to put back your capital and buy again, instead of getting 20 boxes, now you're entitled to 28 boxes. Why? The cost just dropped because of the 30% from the 14,700 to about 10,300. Now, the cost has been reduced. The retail price is the same. So if you sell your 28 boxes at the retail price, you're actually making a sales of about 563,000 naira. Now, if you subtract your capital again from your total sales, you are having a profit here of about 267,000. This is over 250,000 naira, not for selling 100 boxes, just 28 boxes. It means even if you were to sell one box a day, in a month, you could as well have stand the chance to have made over 250,000 naira. Now, and trust me, sometimes some ladies buy 2 boxes, some buy 3, some buy 4. So sometimes even 4 or 5 ladies or women could finish your 28 boxes and you have a profit of about over 200,000 in profit. I mean, this has nothing to do with you bringing anybody. This is just simply retail sales. But what happens if you choose to say, you know what, Virgin is not my thing? I know a lot of guys in the polo club, golf club, those pregnant men association, they might need Vita, they might need Adwell. Now, what does that say to you? If you come up with the agency for 295,930, you are going to get about 6 boxes of Vita and Adwell, both at the same price. The cost members price is 47,300 for a box of Adwell or Vita. A box of Adwell contains 50 sachets. A box of Vita contains 25 sachets. A box of Virgin contains 6 tubes in each box. The retail price is about 68,000 naira. So if you were to sell 6 boxes at the recommended retail price, you're actually selling over 411,000 naira. If you subtract your capital, you still have over 100,000 naira in profit. What happens if you come to repurchase and the 30% is applied for life? Actually, instead of getting 6 boxes, now you are getting 8 boxes because the cost per box has just dropped to 33,000 naira. So if you make a sale of 8 boxes at the recommended retail price, you're now having a sales return of about 549,310 naira. Now, if you subtract your capital out of this, what are you seeing? You are basically seeing that you have again made a profit margin of over 253,000, again over of a million. You are not selling 100 boxes. You are just selling, you just sold 8 boxes and you made about a quarter of a million. So what happens if you can do 16? You've made about 500,000. And if you can do about 32 in a month, probably you'll be doing ₦1,000,000. It's up to you guys. But IMMERI says beyond that, IMMERI operates and has 11 bonus category where it rewards its members and its partners, starting from what we call the sponsor bonus, team bonus, elite bonus, promotional bonus, leadership bonus, director development, same rank, repurchase, travel incentive, car reward, and even a house reward. Now, IMMERI says every time you share with somebody, you are given what we call a sponsor bonus. Sponsor bonus simply means, for example, the classic package, anybody that joins with you, whether the person joins with a classic or with an agency, you earn 5% of the first level. If that person you brought in happened to share with a friend, you also earn 5%, even though you didn't bring the second person or the person beneath. Now, the same applies both for the classic and for the agency. However, if whether you are a classic or you are an agency, you are a tier, and the person you brought in came in with any of the wholesale, tier 1 to tier 4, you enjoy 10% on your first generation, second generation, 5%, third generation, 5%. So it goes 3 levels deep. That's what we call and we refer to as sponsor bonus. Now, IMMERI operates what we call a synergistic board breaking plan. It's my belief that this was taken from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. If you have read it, chapter 6, it talks about synergy. Synergy is the highest form of life, where rather than a win-lose, we are playing for a win-win. Everybody should win. Everybody should succeed. So IMMERI says that's the system and the model we are applying to run our system. But first, this is how you rank advanced in IMMERI. When you join with the agency, you become an associate. From an associate, the next rank you move to is what we call the elite associate. From the elite associate, you become an executive. From an executive, you become an elite executive. From an elite executive, you become a manager. From a manager, you become an elite manager, an elite manager. From an elite manager, you become a director. We have a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star director. Then you move to what we call the ambassador level. So we have the sapphire ambassador, emerald ambassador, and the last rank is diamond ambassador. So IMMERI is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps, okay, and 2 subs for you to move to the next rank. Now, please take a look at the screen. This is how the system works in IMMERI. IMMERI operates a board of 15 people, a board of 15 persons. The top of the board is filled by existing members. The first person on the board is who we call an elite. So let's begin to fill the board with existing members. So we have GSM here, we have Akin here, we have Ada here, we have Musa here, we have Obi here, and we have Ali. All of these are pre-existing Nigerian distributors or partners who are at the top of the board. You will never join a board and you don't see 7 people at the top. It's not possible. Now, the job of everybody at the top is to fill the remaining 8 slots. So IMMERI is not telling you go and bring 100 people. There are only 8 slots. And all of you have a duty to share and sponsor and refer friends who come in and they fill those 8 slots. So let's take, for example, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13 comes in as a result of everyone pushing and sharing with their friends. Once the 15th person comes in, 2 things will happen. Number 1, for example, you see here, Yemi fills number 8, you came in, you fill number 9, Chika fill number 10, Ade 11, Adams number 12, Effiong 13, Ndidi 14, then Ola comes in. Once Ola comes in, the dynamic of the board changes because the 15th person will always create a new, it's like giving birth, will give birth to a new board. With Ola coming in, 2 things will happen. Whosoever is the elite on the board is promoted to the next rank free of charge. You don't pay for upgrade, you are just moved just because you were the elite on the board. Now, and once one person moves out of a board, is remaining 14, then the board will break into 2. So you now have 7 people on one board, the 7 on the other board. That's how you find out that each board contains 7 persons. Now, the question now is, how do we know who is supposed to lead each board? Well, the system says it's simple. 2 members with the highest number of sponsor members in this group will become the elite when the group split. It means by the time the last person, in the case of Ola, comes in, Those who had the highest, who brought in the highest, who had the highest number, 2 persons with the highest number of sponsors, okay, will become the elite. In a case where there is a tie, seniority will take effect. Who came first? So basically, now these things are not done manually, they are done instantly in microseconds by the system. So in this case right now, the board has broken. What do you see? Let's play a scenario here. GSM has 3 persons, you have 4 persons, Musa has 1, Ali has 1, Ade has 2. Well, according to the rule, 2 members with the highest sponsor will become the elite. When you look at the board, it shows that you have 4 persons. That means you will take the first board. GSM has 3. GSM will take the next board. The next person on the board with the highest number is Ade. Ade will move to the board where you are. The next person is Musa. Musa will move to the next board. Ali will move to the next board. From Aki, Ada, Obi, the rest of them, they are still sleeping on the bicycle. So the system says, when did they come in? Put them according to their timestamp. So we have Aki on this board, Ada on the other board, Obi on this board, Yemi on this board, Chika on this board, Adams on this board, Effiong, Ndidi, and Ola. This is how the new board forms. So everybody on top of the board also now begins to share with their friend, filling the 8th slot, and a new board is given birth to and breaks, and somebody moves to the next level. So again, once number 8 to number 14 is filled, when the 15th person comes on the board, something happens. Monies are paid, ranks are changed, and a number of things also happen. So let's look at the board dynamics in just 3 simple steps. Step 1, when you join a board, you get on a board where everyone works together recruiting until the board gets full. I've just explained that. So again, let me emphasize this. Elite, GSM, Akin, Ada, Musa, Obi, and Ali. And so the job is to fill the 8th spot beneath. And everybody begins to add. So let's say GSM say, you know what, I have 4 friends, and GSM happens to share with Yemi. GSM brought you, GSM brought Chika, and GSM also brought Ade. What we say here is that GSM now has 4 recruits, or what we call 4 qualification. Now, what happens if Musa happened to bring 1 person? So we say Musa has 1 recruit or 1 qualification. What happens if you, seeing that is remaining 3 slots, and you happen to share with 3 of your friends, Effiong, Didi, and Ola, now you have 3 recruits and you have 3 qualifications. So you can see how these things play out. That's step 1. Everybody works to fill the board, including those who just came in, because you just came, you are below the board, but you have also shared with your friends to fill that board. Now you have 3 qualifications. Step 2, the 2 people with the highest number of recruits or qualification on the board will become the elite. So in this case, again, I'm highlighting it again for emphasis. GSM has 4, you have 3. Now, so you find out the 2 of you are the highest members on the board. So it means GSM will be promoted and take 1 board. You will also be promoted and you will head the next board with the people, corresponding people following you on each board. Step 3, as an elite, when a new board gets full, you rank advance automatically to the next rank. So again, this is you. Aki is on your board, Obi is on your board, Yemi is on your board, Ade is on your board, Effiong is on your board, Ola is on your board. Once number 1 to 7 comes on your board, it doesn't matter who is bringing them. 1 person can bring all of them. All of you might contribute. Somebody bring 1, somebody bring another 2. But once the 8th person comes, your board is full. The magic for you to actually be an elite on any board is for you to have a minimum. Remember, I already say maximum, minimum of 3 leaders to secure your position, because it's just a board of 8 people left. If you take 3 or 4, confirm you will take the elite position on that board. Now, and once the 8th person comes, you are promoted free of charge to the next round. Now, how are you paid on the board? I mean, this is money. We are talking about money here. It's not charity. So how are you paid on the board? Let's take an example of an associate board. If you are on the associate board, meaning you join with the 295,000 naira, what we call the agency pack. So in this case now, you are there, you are the elite. Julie has 1 qualification. Daniel has 2 qualifications. Let's look at how you are being paid. For you being the elite, the very second you hit the elite rank, you are paid 57,960 naira for what we call the elite bonus. Now, from Number 8, okay, that's the elite bonus because you entered that rank as an elite. But you are also being paid what we call team bonus, which is 11,520 from number H to N, which is 8 to 14. Whether you brought them or not, whether you know them or not, anybody that drops on this board, you are paid 11,520. And for your information, IMMERI does not pay weekly. IMMERI pays instantly, real time. The money drops the same second. You can cash out your money, you can withdraw. Just make sure the withdrawal is done before 3 p.m. Nigerian time, and you are going to get that money between Mondays to Fridays working hours. So H to N, that will give you 11,520 into 7 places. Why not the O? Because when the last person comes in, you actually get a team bonus also, but the value for this team bonus is triple. So rather than getting 11,520, they multiply it by 3. In this case, we are collecting 34,920 naira just for the last person. Now, remember that this last person actually helps you to break the board. And that's what we now call promotional bonus, because as you move out of that board, you are paid 57,920 just for exiting the board. Now, as an elite on the associate board, the minimum you stand to earn is 231,480 naira as an elite. You just become an elite. All the activities are happening, whether you brought them or not, you are guaranteed to earn this income. Now, that is because you were the elite. What happens to Julie? If Julie, all that Julie did was have just one friend who had joined. Well, for Julie, the system says because you have one qualification, you will be paid 1,800 naira for everybody that drops on that board. It means those that are dropping, you are not the one bringing them. So 1,800 into 8 places, okay? Because that's the number of slots beneath. And if that one person does not make you an elite, you can stay there up to what we call 20 cycles, because from H to O, which is 8 to 15, is called a cycle. Once the 15 person comes, a cycle is complete. So IMMERI says with one person, we can keep paying you 1,800 into 8 places, into 20 cycles, whether you are sleeping, as long as you have brought one person. What that means is that you stand a chance and you earn a guaranteed 288,000 if you choose to sleep all through the 20 cycle. They don't wait till it's complete to pay you. They pay you each time the person is dropping. Now, what that simply means again is that on each person and on each cycle, actually you are earning 14,400 per cycle. Now, what happens to Dan? Dan had 2 persons. With Dan, instead of paying you 1.8, they are paying you 3.6 per person that drops on your board. It got doubled. Times 8 times 20 cycle, you get paid 576. Have you noticed that we didn't ask you to bring 100 persons? 1 person you are being paid, 2 persons you are is double, 3 persons you are the elite on that board, okay? And you can earn more and get promoted. So as somebody who has 2 qualifications, you are earning about 28,800 per cycle. You don't need to wait 20 cycles. You can go as fast as possible because the money actually is at the top of the ladder, not at the base here. Now, this is an example of how you are being paid on the board. Now, let's look at some extra income potential for people that are not elite. Remember, I shared those who are elite on the board. Now, what happens if I am not the elite on the board? And I just explained that of the associate board, so I will re-emphasize that. On the associate board, even if you have 1 person and you choose to die there, as we will say in Nigeria, you stand a chance to earn 288,000 with just 1 person. Again, 1 person. If you have 2 associates and you sleep on that board and that board cycles 20 times, you will earn 567,000. It is guaranteed if you sleep through that cycle. Now, from the associate board, you'll be promoted to become an executive. Now, on the executive board, if you do not have an executive on the board, you stand a chance to earn 460,000 naira, 800, just having no executive, and you go 10 cycles on that board. If you have one executive, meaning you have helped one of your team members to move, with just 1 executive member joining you, you stand a chance to sleep on that board and still earn 921,000 naira, 600. What happens if you have two executives that you have supported? Now you stand a chance to earn about 1.3 million naira just being on that executive board with two executives. Now, from the executive board, the next rank you move to is what we call the manager board. On the manager board, if you're a manager with no manager, you can stay there for 10 cycles and you are guaranteed 4.6 million naira with no manager. What happens if all you have is one manager? You stand a chance to earn 9.2 million naira with just supporting one manager to come with you. If you have two managers, you can earn 13.9 million. Again, look at the framework seriously here. We are not saying if you had 100 person, no manager, you are being paid. No executive, you are being paid. One executive, you are being paid. Two managers or two executives. Look at how the money is increasing. So it's the idea is for you to support more people, okay, at least one or two, because even if you brought 5 managers, on this earning, you will still be earning what the 2 managers got, because there's a place is compensated for, but it's much more about team support, helping your team members to move to the next rank with you. So how are you paid on the board as an elite? If you are the elite on the board, remember we just talked about non-elite. If you are the elite on the board as an elite associate, remember I said per person that drops on your board, you get to earn 11,520 from number 1 to number 7. And the 8th person actually will pay you 34,920 for the last person. And you will now cycle out of that board and yet be given the promotional bonus. If you were on the executive board and you are the elite executive of that board, for every one person that drops on your board, you are paid 115,920, whether you know them or not. About a week plus ago, okay, yeah, I have a team member that became an elite executive on the 5th of February. And within 2 weeks, 8 people had come into the board. None of them was from our team. None of them was from Nigeria. And yet for each person that dropped on the board, he was earning 115,000 naira, 920 from number 1 to number 7. And the last person that came in, he was paid 347,000. As a matter of fact, 5 executives came in one night. We were all asleep. We woke up and there were 5 executives coming in, not from our team, not even from our country. That's the synergistic effect. So imagine earning 115,000 per person and the last person you are paid 347, whether you know them or not. Again, I just explained 8 people came in within 2 weeks. None of them was from our team. He never knew anybody, but they were landing on his board and he was also earning. Now, what happens if you are the elite manager? Per person that drops on your board, you get to earn 1.1 million naira. That's why, I mean, when we began, we were playing that 1 billion naira ringtone song. Now, you've got to understand this. Imagine one person drop 1.1 million, another person drop 1.1 million, third person drop 1.1 million. Bros, even if you the old person, tell I'm making with person goes on drop 1.1 million. You can pay school fees. You can put this money together and pay your rent or begin to build your own house. Now, trust me, and I will show you already in Nigeria, somebody already has about 6 managers that have dropped on his board, okay, within record time. What does that say to you? 1.1 million. I think yesterday somebody became a manager in Nigeria. Now, what are we talking about here? It means somebody has just earned 1.1 million naira. Now, when the 8th person comes, which is the last person, instead of you earning 1.1 million, look at what is coming in. Look at what that person is earning. 3.4 million naira for the last person, whether you know the person or not. This is what IMMERI is talking about. Beginning to earn, having the possibility of earning even from work that you are doing and from the work that others are doing. Everybody synergistically putting their effort to make sure everybody wins here. That's IMMERI for you. So let's look at the board bonuses quickly as we begin to wrap up. Now, this is for if you are the elite on the board, you earn basically 3 types of earning. One, what we call the team. Remember I said we have 11 ways to earn, but if you are the elite on any board, you earn team bonus, elite bonus, and promotional bonus. If you're on the classic board, you only earn promotional bonus, which is 11,837 naira. You do not earn team bonus and elite bonus on the classic board. But if you're on the associate board, you will earn, remember, like I said, from the 1st person to the 15th person, minimum you earn you earn team bonus, elite bonus, promotional bonus. As an associate, elite associate, the minimum you earn is 231,480. If you're on the executive board and you are the elite on that board, the combination of the team bonus, elite bonus, and promotional bonus, which is guaranteed, is 2.3 million naira. Okay, for you. If you are the manager on the board and you are the manager board and you are the elite manager, which somebody is about to hit in Nigeria, to exit that board, you earn 23,184,000. I mean, just you got to the manager board and you became the elite manager. Already in Nigeria, Nigeria is just about 8 months plus. Okay, this month, so let's say 9 months plus. Already we have 2 elite managers. So if you look at your board bonuses, if you started from the classic, the minimum you will earn is 25 million naira. Minimum. By the time you move out of the manager board to become a director, even if you started from the associate board, the minimum you will earn is still 25 million 700, about 722,000 naira. I mean, imagine that, 25 million, and people are already hitting this in 1 year. Did you hear me right? Yes, you heard me right, and I will prove it and show it to you. IMMERI says there is more to come. We have what we call leadership bonus. When you're an executive and you produce an executive, for every executive you produce, you are paid 57,960 naira. So your job is not just for you to get in people and you jump and you leave them. Go help them, helping them and supporting them and showing them what to do and how to create their own success story. For each person that becomes an executive, you earn 57,960. What happens if you are a manager and you help a team member to become a manager directly who signed up under you? You get paid 579,000 for that effort. So, hey, go make others managers. If you are a director and you produce a director, you are paid 5.7 million naira. Can you imagine helping another person succeed and yet you are paid 5.7 million naira? How many directors are you willing to raise? Is up to you. Now, IMMERI runs what we call a repeat sales bonus. Like we said, we do not do compulsory auto ship, monthly balancing of leg, flushing of point. None of that exists in IMMERI. IMMERI says, because these products are very, very good, we are first users of the product. As you buy this product to consume, even you yourself, you are paid 5% on the consumption and reorders of your product. If you have a team member who buys the product, 5% is paid to the team member and also still paid to you up to your 10th generation. So you find out that people are buying product to use for their personal consumption. It is not auto ship. It is not, if you don't buy, we'll flush your point. That does not exist in IMMERI. And yet IMMERI says for doing that voluntary willing activity, we still pay you. Now, I talked about retail. Now, imagine that you bought 100 boxes of Virgin to go and sell, and yet you are making your profit. The man is still paying you 5% on each of those boxes. I mean, that's another way of earning. Somebody was saying to us last month, he earned about 600 and something thousand naira. Somebody is constantly earning about 1.5 million naira a month. This is not part of the board. This is just product consumption. And there's no knife to your neck to say you must buy that product. Now, IMMERI takes us to what we call the director development bonus. Now, when you become a one-star director, what makes you a one-star director? You have developed one director. When you develop one director, IMMERI says, now we are going to pay you 1% of the group sales, not net. This is total, this is group sales. Everything that happens in your team, all the activations, IMMERI, at the end of the day, this is paid daily, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. IMMERI will calculate for the entire day every sales that have come in your organization, and 1% of that is paid every single day. This is truly what we call give us this day our daily bread, every single day. That was because you help one person to become a director, not 10. Now, if you become a 2-star director, you have developed 2 of 1-star director. Now you begin to earn 2% of daily group sales. If you are a 3-star director, you are earning 3%. Currently, IMMERI has produced over 35 3-star directors. And for you to be a 3-star director in IMMERI, you're actually a millionaire in dollars. Sapphire Ambassador, you are earning 5%. Emerald Ambassador, you are earning 6%. Diamonds, imagine this. Then a Sepo will tell you that he's partly already, in fact, he's already been retired, because this guy does between averagely about 30 to about 100,000, 150,000 naira every single day, including today that is Sunday. Any activity that is done, he gets to earn 1%. What else is retirement when that is happening? If you get to be earning about 30,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 naira every single day. And it has nothing to do with you buying product. It has nothing to do with you registering anybody. You are there, you are there. There's no demotion, there's no deranking, there's no flushing of points. I mean, this is IMMERI for you. Now, when you become an elite manager, you qualify for our incentive trip. We have this travel incentive trip, all expenses paid. I think we have one in June coming for the elite managers, and you begin to go for this trip. If you're a one-star director, you qualify for your second all expense paid trip. One star and above, they begin every day. They are paying your money. They are dropping certain amount of money to cover your future trips. I think as about last week or so, I was talking with Daniel Sekwe, who is a one-star director. He said just within the space of a month plus, they have already accumulated about £1 million for him to travel. This has nothing to do with promo or whatever. Things are happening every day. They are keeping money for him. So he wants to travel, he could take that and travel. Then we have our car reward. This is not car fund. This is car reward. When you exit the manager board and you become a director, IMMERI says you are qualified for your first car. And the value for your first car is 5.7 million naira as a director. Now, you don't monetize it, you take the car, you take the fund. If you don't want, if that money is too small, you can top up and buy what you want, but the first car must be purchased. The beautiful thing about IMMERI is that IMMERI does not need to brand it. It is your car. That's why it's a reward. It's not a fund. Some tell you must brand it for 1 year. Then they still own it. But IMMERI says, you know what? You qualified for it. You are rewarded with the car. You brand it. You don't brand it. It's up to you. Once the car is given to you, if you want to go and sell it, it's up to you. But hey, we first produce that car for you. Get that car, okay? And you can choose to brand it or not. 5.7 million naira for hitting a director. Now, when you hit a 3-star director, you get your second car valued at over 11.5 million naira. Now you can choose to monetize it because, like I said, at this level, you're a millionaire in dollars. You might not be needing the car, and you say, you know what, I need the cash for some other thing, and then you can collect the cash. So we have a first car and a second car. Finally, we have people who have already achieved this in 1 year. We have Mr. Prince Eric Kujo, who is the newest director in IMMERI Africa. And I think this happened in December. 3-4 weeks ago, I was in Ghana and we joined his celebration as he was rewarded with a car. I know what, he just added money because he has made money. IMMERI pays handsomely and to get himself a Honda CRV 2020 model. Now, this is Mr. Daniel Kujo Sekwe, who happens to be the first elite manager in Africa and Middle East. He was the first director in Africa and Middle East, so that qualified him for the car, and he also got himself a Honda CRV 2019 model. And right now, he's the first 1-star director in Africa and Middle East. Finally, here we have the house reward. IMMERI says when you become a diamond, you qualify for $150,000 cash, or we give you a penthouse in Malaysia. Now, this is the house in Malaysia. What you see here is not graphic, it's the exact penthouse. IMMERI had got for itself units of penthouse of houses, units of houses, and says once you're a diamond, we give you the key to this house. If you do not want the house, you can monetize it and you collect 50% of it, which was that $150,000, and you can go build your own house in your village. I mean, you know, we are Nigeria for life. Some people will go to Kakramen, Borikoko, Adak Brasa, where again, Kuku Agbo, and some of those MBC, and very funny names like that. But hey, that's your choice. But IMMERI says 150,000 US dollars, that's about 54 million naira for you to go build a house of your own, or you pick up the house in Malaysia, and that house comes with 10 years multiple visa if you choose to pick that option to fly into Malaysia anytime, and IMMERI is going to process all of this for you. Now, something interesting happened last year, July. Why IMMERI was just about 2.5 years old, and we're having a conference in Malaysia. And the CEO of the company came out and said, you know what, everything in IMMERI has been won except the house. And then people think it's a trick. He said, no, the house is already ready. The fact that people have not moved in is actually a maintenance cost for us. So hey, we know it's for diamonds, but if you're an emerald, come out and let's give you the house. These two ladies who just joined the company 2.5 years, they never knew that just within a space of 2.5 years, they'll be blessed by the company. They came out and the keys to their penthouses in Malaysia was delivered to them. And the CEO said, you know what, the next six persons to hit Emerald Director will be awarded with the house in Malaysia or the cash. And about 3-4 weeks ago, while we're in Ghana, something interesting also happened. Mr. Yap, who is the president for Africa and Middle East, announced as we're winding down the event in Ghana, and that they have decided that the first person in Africa who will hit the Emerald Director will also be given the penthouse without the person becoming a diamond. So it's game on. The house is still available, and we're already picking partners and neighbors and the wing, left wing, right wing of this penthouse. It's beautiful. Now, imagine all of these things happening. What do you think right now? It's beginning to see a lot of results and people, because everything the company promised is already happening. So right now we have success stories. And I want to show you more success stories born out of all of this. And what we have here are success breeds success, which is more of our core values. Now, you see Mr. Eric Kujo, in 1 year of doing IMMERI business, earned 43.5 million naira in 1 year. 43.5 million naira in 1 year. $120,000, okay, in 1 year. We have there Mr. Daniel Kujo, who actually earned more than this, okay? But within 1 year, the minimum he earned was 37 million naira in 1 year. 1 year. The company globally is just 3 years. In 1 year of entering Africa, the experiment, people are earning 43.5 million, 37 million naira, 26 million naira. And you thought it was just a Ghana thing. But well, this is also happening in Nigeria. This is Mr. John Mukoro. I call him Oniovo, my friend. He's an elite manager. And just for being elite manager, it's not now that people have already loaded his board and more millions have come in. Within 6 months, he had earned over 11.4 million naira just in 6 months of running the IMMERI business. This is a Nigerian story. IMMERI has not officially launched in Nigeria. It will be launching in another March 28th of this month. Okay, and right now he has 6 more persons that have come in. So it's like you should be adding about 6.6 million naira to what you see here. So we should be talking about 18 or 19 million naira just in the space of 9 months. Now, not just for him, but we also have here the first female Nigerian elite manager, Madam Eunice Akalegbere. Within a record time, she had done over 12.5 million naira. This is a Nigerian story. So you have seen the Ghanaian story in 1 year, you have seen the Nigerian story in less than 1 year, and we are just about to set sail in the month of March. And trust me, Nigeria will produce a director before that day. So things are happening, and we are sharing this story with everyone. It's happening. Somebody got you here. What do? You can join us to use the product. You can join us and also begin to refer the product to others. In that way, you are gathering customers. You can also join us to enroll others into your business. You are building a team so that you can earn like the person who is earning 43.5 million. The person who earned that buying product. The person who earned that just referring product. The person who earned that building a team. The 37 million naira did the same thing. The 26 million did the same thing. John Mokoro is doing the same thing. Madam Eunice is doing the same thing. I am doing the same thing. Your membership gives you access to all three, to use the product, to refer the product, and to enroll others and build a team. Now, let me seize this opportunity to invite you to our grand launch. It is happening March 28th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is going to happen at the Classic Event Place. It's a place of class, taste, and style. And the address is number 7A Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun, Ikeja, Lagos. You've got to lock this date down. Something is about to happen within the Nigerian space. Trust me, this will change your perspective. We went to Ghana. What we saw in Ghana blew our mind. And they said that was a tip of the iceberg. what is happening in Nigeria, they are bringing the best of the event managers from Asia to handle the Nigerian event. This event will be, is already a sellout. As at last week, it was remaining about 40 tickets. So I doubt if you will see a ticket. But if you're interested, make plans, contact whoever invited you to lock your ticket. The ticket is just 3,000 naira and even comes with your meal and all those things. So IMMERI right now is set to make a statement. Now, with that being said, what more do we have? Get back to the person that invited you. Whosoever shared this with you so that they can get you started immediately with IMMERI. You have been hearing about IMMERI. They sent you a Facebook message, they sent you a WhatsApp message, they tweeted at you, they called you. Whatever means you got on this call tonight, please get back to that person and let's begin our story. Now, I like to close this way. Nobody was born to win. Even if you are 10 winners, nobody was born to win. I can also tell you that nobody was born to lose. This morning I had an event, speaking engagement in Ajegule, and it's a suburb I grew up in. Nobody, and I was sharing with them, it's not your background. Nobody was born to win. Nobody was born to lose. Where we are today is a product of our choices. You were born to choose. So I encourage you today to choose IMMERI. And why do you need to choose IMMERI? You choose IMMERI because something revolutionary has begun. It will impact your life, impact your health, and impact your finances. There are many audio money opportunities out there. IMMERI is not an audio money opportunity. Don't fall prey of audio money, because all we get to know is audio money after all. My name is Solomon James, and I want to thank you for being a part of this webinar. And I want to leave you in the hands of the rude man sharing audio money.
Everybody reach for Instagram. Oh, man, no day for Instagram. Oh, it can't be like saying that we stand there. We make like we keep that. And I got you. The money, not just money. And I got you. Not just money. Slow down, slow down. Why you want to kill yourself? Why you want by yourself? Live it, take la vida loca. Calm down, calm down. Why you want to kill yourself? Why you want by yourself? Live it, take la vida loca. Them act like you. The money not just money. Them act like you. Not just money. Them act like you. The money not just money. Them act like you. Not just money. You were the phone giver. Your landlord they chase you away. Your family them in the sideline. Oh, they blow you, you the blow timeline. 10 billion and plus. Too much money can be nothing.